Welcome to another marching workout vlog. Yours truly with Adrian Hunter Dragon. We're gonna go by the river, see who is going at the gym on this rainy, stormy, potentially thunderous day. So yours truly, it's Friday before the Sabbath, and I didn't film because I was more than actually I did a lot of marching, so already did more than 93 minutes. I'm close to downtown. Actually, I can consider this downtown Montreal, Hog Island. So, yours truly, another vlog. Yours truly gonna begin with that rock and roll for the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, those doing that delivery door to door for that food. Oh, no food waste. What is that? Is that some food waste? Maybe not. Maybe not. Not sure. Ticking on the clock. I got some of that good vibe. I feel good. I was a bit moody on that side. We gotta get it on that XYZ and then get it on the rock and roll for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, firefighters, and plumbers, electricians. We're gonna drive it in here from downtown Montreal. Quebec, Canadian, North American, always grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got that food and got that coffee, got that LOVE. For all the bakers, the butchers, the nurses, the doctors, the firefighters, those who build big buildings like this one, gonna need you for the building of the 4. Constructing the 444, of course, the North American people's Imperial Coliseum to be 11 times bigger than the Caesar Superdome, aka the Hardball, where the Hardball Bowl was played. That is where my 49ers lost. And let's build it by a Dragon versus Trump, because now the new geopolitical event, as you know, you don't know, now you will know that I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and it's geopolitics 24/7 for the butchers, bakers, nurses, for the North American Collective. That's always how we're going to roll, and we are going to fuse Canada and the United States. It's our common destiny via public-private partnership. But a strong public-private partnership, of course, we're going to need to be fusing on the go, and that's what we're going to need to be doing on that, and we're going to be needing to be fusing a little bit of that. Democratic Republican Empire for the Empire. The Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom dream, of course, which includes the creation of the Dragon Army, aka North American Imperial SSD Legion, only to function for the and only for and solely for the purpose of S, security, S, service and defense, SSD principles, and the Dancing Goddess Army, aka the North American Integrated Dance League, of course, to be for the environmental purposes and recreational purposes, and dancing being my favorite sport. Yours truly, please don't pollute. Put it in the recycling. If it goes in the recycling, put it in the garbage if it goes in the garbage. And I'm really curious to see who made it, who went, who's going to that public gymnasium, to that public gym. I got my raincoat on. Thank you to my anonymous friend who gave me the gift of this raincoat. And on the backpack, I'm carrying those red gloves by which I have been able to continue to challenge Donald Trump even more strongly now to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. Have ever since the imposition of tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel since 2018. Donald Trump made a mistake, and now supposedly I heard that again. There's a convoluted situation, but supposedly Donald Trump has been exclamated that, of course, there's the seizure, the talks have ceased. Basically, there's a pause. The talks have ceased for, please don't pollute, put it in the garbage. The talks have ceased between the United States and Canada vis-a-vis the continuing trade war. And of course, that is a geopolitical mistake. And, you know, was Canadian Quebecer, but I was born in the United States three times, post 70-76. And that's what I did, and once was born a woman. Twice a man, served in the United States Army. That's why we need to create the new 21st century institution for the Defense Security Collective, and that's how we need to be doing like that with that, and that's how we need to get going on the left and on the right, and in the public-private partnership. So it's Dragon versus Trump, you know, special edition as I go roaming through this downtown rainy day. Montreal, Hog Island, I'm gonna have to watch it so I don't ruin my work through, because it's what I got, and turn my head left and right here. Before and after crossing the street and during the crossing of the street. That's how we're gonna need to get doing and drilling with that, and see beautiful buildings here. So we're gonna need, of course, to get building on that and building some more beauties here. And it's the construction workers that rock and roll with that. So that's how we're gonna get drilling here. It's always for the farmers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the North American Collective. And, you know, I wanted to stay in bed, but I didn't. And I cleaned my room, office, and temple. I was a bit moody. My only concern now is financial stress. And, you know, the problem is with yours truly, I'm not going to charge a lot for the tickets, me, Dragon versus Trump. Those public workers changing the aqueducts are going to get a discount. The garbage collectors are going to get a discount on that. It's not all about Wall Street. It's not all about the money, you know, as I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and I could say apropos vis-a-vis my geopolitical theoretical analysis, sometimes they're direct, straightforward, and are a bit academic and scholarly, but I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and that's how we got with that. That's how we got, and that's how we got to get that rock and roll with that, man. Always for those involved now with the trains. Train conductors, got to give a little bit of shout out for the train conductors and, you know, those on that train across the Collective, and the truckers, you know, transporting all the goods. Imagine how many trucks, and, you know, we're open for sabotage and espionage, so we got a confluence of ideas and protocols which we need to implement, which is vis-a-vis my dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally a more artistic appellation, mystical operation for, that's beautiful, isn't that beautiful? Yes, we need more like that, we need more like that, more like that. And of course a more artistic appellation and a more integral part of the North American Collective, because we are a collective civilizational complex which is not only divorced but is distinct from Western civilization. So those are things which you need to remember. So I'm gonna just close my raincoat, hold on, because it's open and I'm vulnerable to getting that all wet. Auctioning my underwear, my socks, the boots, the shorts, the shirt, rainbow hat. I'm wearing that rainbow for my fellow LGBTQ community. Of course, I'm androgynous pansexual, not just an aspie. I do have a condition known as Asperger's, so socially we have more difficulties in certain ways than we interact now when it comes, of course, to our what's called our special interest. And when it comes to my special interest, that's where I am pretty much at home in my kingdom, my domain, and my special interests and are, of course, geopolitics 24/7, to study the analysis and developing geopolitical strategies, of which, of course, it inclusive my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, by the way, has to be implemented binationally, as I'm launching, I guess, the binational salvation front, as we're going to fuse Canada and United States in a collective imperial strategical geopolitical strategy for the 21st century, based on several papers which I've written and I've written in the past, and I've revived them today, as we need to collectively get that coast to coast, ocean to ocean, create two complementary covenant institutions, the Dragon Army only for SSD, for the 63 legions, the 10 provinces and 3 territories, 10 provinces, 50 states, 3 territories. So you gotta be, I guess you saw a little bit of my face, it's got squeezed on the other side a little bit. So here we are, Montreal downtown, rainy day, supposed to be that thunder. I don't mind thunder, lightning. I guess in my head sometimes it's that thunder, lightning in terms of geopolitics. And of course I gotta restate, I have the proof for what I'm about to say, that I predicted what's happening now back in 2019, October, November. In a general manner, of course, I predicted that an international conflagration is on the horizon. So mine wasn't like a 44-step like Cohen's theory, a geopolitical philosopher and a political scientist. Cohen of the, during the Cold War period, he has the 44-step type of priority for escalation, but I'm not going to go into his theories because my theories are original and consequently dated for today, June, as we are June 27th today, 2025. My rent's paid, financially stressed. I am financially stressed, but my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid. I ran out of coffee today, this morning, but I got that. I think I got four capsules. So that should last me for the Sabbath, which commences tonight at midnight. But those capsules are, of course, caffeine free, although it got the taste because I tried them and it's the same taste as coffee, so I don't mind if they're caffeine free, you know. So I give a shout out for my anonymous friend who cooked some of that lunch today, and I was given 3 good delicious pieces of nice pizza, nice with a little bit of embellishment. That was a 10 on 10. So if I ever make $1 million a bin, I'm gonna give 50% half to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money. From now on, just the border to know that friends with benefits only. I'm androgynous pansexual when it comes to some good loving, but you got black, white, rainbow. You got to be 18 plus, you know. Here in Quebec, I guess the age of consent is 16 plus, but I'm still gonna apply the age to make some loving with Adrian, Hannah, Dragon, Rainbow, Dragon, Priestess, or the GODDSS. I God, Goddess it, and this is an event to God. God bless, Goddess kiss, the Empire of the 63. God bless, Goddess kiss, the Empire of the 63. It's a God bless, Goddess. You need that GODDSS. Let's build the Goddess, Forgotten Goddess Temple together, and for the 63 you need some kisses, and it's not all about strength, but again, what I'm gonna say, of course, is to my anonymous friends, shout out. And friends with benefits only. Friends with benefits only, please. Friends with benefits only. If you want to work out, train, exercise, see me Hawk Island, Montreal, Mount Royal. I can rock and roll rap. Rock and roll is my special interest, and I always rock and roll for the truckers on the road. Bakers, butchers, nurses, doctors, hey, those firefighters. Gotta love them, those to do. Gotta lots of such to you. We gonna go some Friday noon. We're gonna go some Friday spooner. Friday, so you down you see. On the 3 and 4 and 5G. Oh yeah, rock and roll, you know, it's just rock and roll 24/7 geopolitics. And of course, the alarming new development is that Donald Trump and the administration has, of course, decided to cease continuing economic, financial, commercial, by trade talks with the Canadian complex. And here I'm gonna have to go by the side. Be careful here. See, because it's a bit of a mess, but you gotta snake it a bit. Sometimes you just gotta snake, you know, snake it. But you just gotta snake it a little bit, you know. So I'm joyous now. I actually have a smile on my face, you know, but I'm joyous. It's just financially stressed, and that's really my only stress now. And I was depressed, I was suicidal and underemployed. I had many jobs in the past 7 years. The problem is, you know, the problem is that, of course, Aspies, people with Asperger's, there's three main problems which we encounter. Aspies, the Aspie, and Asperger's is a neurological mental divergent condition, again, not a mental illness. The problem we encounter the most is we have a high level of unemployment, which is totally unacceptable, 80%. Now, counterbalance this 80%, that's what it is with that, and that's what it is. Counterbalance to the 80%, that's what it is, and also lack of friends. That's why they send friends with benefits only now. So friends with benefits only for the go, and that's what it is with that. And it's friends with benefits. From now on, it's pledge your allegiance, and that's how we're gonna rock and roll with it, you know. Pledge your allegiance, pledge your allegiance, and pledge your allegiance, man. That's just for the kingdom, for the empire, to getting on the drill. And here we gotta get out of the way for some workers doing some work there. As a geopolitical strategy, you know, you got that XYZ, and you also got to get that fitness, and of course I got to transmute myself over to the other side. So I'm just gonna polish it a bit here until we get that crossing of the streets, and that's how we got to get doing on that, and that's how we're gonna get doing for the left, for the right, for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses. And I gotta say that we got to get drilling on that. Look at that beautiful, isn't that a beautiful color there? I wonder, you know, financial stress now, many financial stressed. I wonder how those towers went, how they were working on them. You know, I always wonder collectively how they are, how they work there, the 3G, 4G, how they were put up. I think the small one is 5G. The small one is 5G. Anybody want to teach me more? Because I can exchange, you know, I have some vigor, and, you know, in a parallel life, I'm a super scientist. I'm an Aspie also, but, you know, in that parallel life, I know everything that has to be doing and commending science, technology, and of course, IT, everything to do with computer science, everything to do with computer science, everything to do with tech, everything to do, of course, with technology, science, and technology. That is my kingdom, my domain, my arena in that parallel life. In this life, it is geopolitics, of course, and I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. I take great pride in my geopolitical theories, analysis, and strategies. Now, of course, look at these beautiful flowers. Trump made a mistake. That's not the way to invite Canadians and Canada to join the Union. And my way to fuse Canada and the United States best. You know, I've been advocating for this for years and years, especially since I survived COVID. And I was born in the United States. I lived 3 incarnations. Just read Through a Glass Darkly. George Patton, Through a Glass Darkly. One of my favorite poems is George Patton.